Hello guys, today we're making cubers on Scratch. And this is part 1 how to make it. So yesterday I told you that it was the last video of Sprung Key. So I didn't make phase 2 yet. So this is gonna be the gameplay, okay? So I'll call it Cubers. Cubers. Okay, Cubers. And enter. Cubers on Scratch. So first, what we have to do, delete the cat. Yes. So now let's do the background. As you can see, a cube gets a background. And I remember you don't need an outline. Now let's make our background. Okay. Okay, now let's make our background. So first we draw this thing, and we draw this thing. Now the cube gets a background. And we can select this thing. And I'll call it backdrop cube. So backdrop cube. Now we got the backdrop cube. Let's start coding now. So when green flag clicked, and then switch costume, then switch backdrop to the backdrop cube. And let's set a var, and let's then make a block. And call it Cubers, okay? So Cubers. Cubers. So that the cubers can fit on there. So put the block right there. So on the cubers, let's make a variable, okay? Let's make a key. So let's make a variable, okay? I'll call it carrot. I'll call it cube. So I'll call it characters. No characters. So we set the cube. So the cube are the characters. Now set cubers. Okay, set characters to 0. Now so there's now create clone. Okay, create clone of myself. Okay, create clone of myself. Okay, we put this characters right there. Then we put this cubers and put right there. Now let's do it. So let's put the reset timer. And we're gonna make a block named Reset Cubers that all resets cubers can fit on there. So I'll reset cubers that belong to me. So that they're like you can drag stuff. Do you know that you can drag stuff? Okay, reset cubers. Now let's go to the block. So on the reset cubers, we have to do something. Okay. Okay. So let's do the reset timer. And then switch backdrop to the backdrop cube. Now, and then we go to control and repeat 10. Then, then we set the characters to 0. Okay, duplicate. Okay, duplicate. Now we're done. So first let's paint. Let's go to Little Kitten and paint. So we will have the cubers. So we will zoom in until we get there. Now let's make our cubers. Now cubers. So first we draw a square like this. And make sure it's 28 by 28. And we got to make it curvy. So we're gonna reshape it. Okay, instead of this, it's now this. Now. Okay, now. Okay, it's curvy. So on the cubers. So we choose a bucket filler. And we choose this. Okay, now. So let's make the circle. Okay. We don't need these. We don't need these. Now let's do a line. So first we draw like this. Okay, copy and paste. Okay, back. And also make this to a 0 and a 0. So first, now let's start coding. So when green flag clicked, so first let's start adding by a 1 space key pressed. 1 space key pressed. Then we do repeat 10. Now change Y by 10. And also you need to duplicate this. Now we're gonna do a negative 10. So, and this one, let's call it player. So now we can see what it looks like. Now let's see if it works. Yay, the player jumps. You see that? It jumps. Let's make a bigger screen. So first, then when flag clicked, move 10 speeds. Okay, let's do a when space key pressed, then move speeds. Let's see if that works. Okay, then let's put the forever loop. Now let's see if it works. Then okay. Now then okay. And make sure let's set a block name. I'll call it spin around. Around, and let's not do that. I'll spin. So we got the spin. So when it spins, it has to move speed. move 10 steps. So let's do it. So first, let's make a block and name it cube. And then let's call it player, okay? Player. And we add this, and this one it's called cube. Player cube. Okay, enter. And we got the player cube. Okay. And we set this right there, player cube. Now let's go to our block. So first, turn. Then we set the forever loop. Okay. Okay. Also make this to 0 and 0. And make this to 90. And then we put the if else. Okay, minus 190 and minus 980. Okay. Actually, no, let's not put that, okay? Make sure this is 0. Okay, and make this to 90. And we're gonna make so many cubers. So first let's paint a sprite. And let's make our menu, okay? This is gonna be our menu. And also make this to 0 and a 0. And so let's do it. We're gonna set the pixel, okay? Now we're gonna say cubers. Okay, cubers. And you can change your color to something else. You can maybe white. And you can copy and paste them. And let's group it. And we need to move this. Okay, and you can make any color that you want. So let's do it. Now let's group it. And so cubers. Now we got the cubers. Let's add a sound. Let's add a sound on our menu. Maybe loops. Maybe this one. Now let's start coding. So let's do and one green flag clicked. Then play this jungle sound. We want the until done one so that it can play. So now let's see if it works. And our music plays. You see, our music plays. So then let's start coding. So first, when green flag clicked, hide. So it's gonna hide. Let's still show, but when it shows, when it shows, we need to set the ghost effect to 0. But when it hides, then set ghost effect to 100. Now let's see if it works. Okay, so it's gonna hide. So it's not gonna hide. So when flag clicked show. Let's make a block name. I'll call it play. So when flag clicked show and play. And next costume. And yeah, let's paint a sprite. And I'll call this play button. Play button. This can be the play button, okay? Now play button. Also make this to 0 and 0. Let's add a square to it. So now let's start coding in our play button. So first when the sprite clicked, Then, okay, and let's add a costume too, okay? And make sure every color you want. This one it's not gonna be pixel. This one it's gonna be snap. So when this sprite clicked, then if touching mouse pointer, let's see if that worked. So if touching mouse pointer, then we got to hide. But when it shows, it's only just if. Now let's see if it works. Wait, maybe it can be switch costume too. Now let's see if it works. And it works, you see? So when it's costume. Now, and we need to add when this sprite clicked, and then if hide. So let's see if that worked. No, it didn't. No, we need a switch costume to costume 1. Okay. So we start the green flag. But wait. When the sound, but wait, we forgot when the sound plays, we need to do it, and we keep it right there. So first, we drag it, and we put it right there. And we also need a jungle sound. Now we're ready. Now let's start coding. So when green flag clicked play sound, and we need the until done one. But wait, when it plays, so we start the green flag. And lastly, we're just gonna put right there. Make sure it's costume 1. Okay, now let's see if it works. So we start the green flag. Now let's do the stop all. What did I do? Did I just duplicate this? Let me No, it needs to be costume 1. So let's add a when flag clicked hide and stop all sounds. Maybe that can work. Let's see if that worked now. So we start the green flag. But wait, we need to call this playing. Make sure snap playing. Now let's see. So, and let's paint another sprite. And I'll call it cube. So that we can zoom in. And remember, it needs to be 28 by 28. Also make this to 0 and 0. And let's make sure it's yellowish. Yellow. So I'll just copy and paste. Also, we need to make this, and we need this line too. So I'll just copy and paste. And also put it right there. Get backward, one row backward. And let's start coding. Also, you need this. So we put it right there. Now let's see. And all of them jump. Make sure it's 90 by 90. And you also need that. You also need this. Keep it right there. You also need this. Keep it right there. So now let's see if it works. So we start the green flag. And all of them spin. You see? And you see that it spins. And we got to make this. So this is gonna be the guy of the This is gonna be the level. Make sure this is 0 and 0. And make sure this is called level. Make sure level. Now let's start coding. So first, one green flag clicked, and let's set a variable name. I'll call it level. And also for this sprite only. Not for all sprites. And I wanted this level to show. So set level to 24 pixels. And we can add a change a level by 9. And I wanted to change Y by. So when green flag clicked, then change Y by 10. Then we go to variables and set this level right there. Also you need to duplicate this. Let's put the forever loop. And it becomes it. And this is needs to be -10. So we start the green flag. So in our level, we have to go to 0 and 0. Now forever loop. Now wait until so on the level we need to move with 10 steps. Now make sure it's 0 and 0. And we also need a 1 space key is pressed. So we start the green flag. Okay, now we're done. Okay, bye guys. I'll see you in the part 2. And on the part 2, I will teach you how to make icon player games. So bye right now.